I'm Chris Mills with surfstrengthcoach.com and surftrainingsuccess.com, showing you some stuff to do with your body so you don't hurt while you surf. Build a more fit, mobile, athletic body so you can do what you do, get in the water. So a rundown of some essentially self-tissue work. I'm going to show you some stuff to do with your calf, your adductors, quads, lats, triceps, a bit of chest, shoulder, the good stuff. I've been surfing a lot lately and I've been training quite a bit lately. Everything's pretty sore today. I'll go through this stuff for about 20 minutes or so. This is just a hodgepodge of some things I've been working on lately. Show them to you. Calf tissue, really tight calf tissue can restrict the ankle. So we want to keep that stuff mobile. You can just use kind of broad section of your fist, palm. You can foam roll the calf tissue. What I'll generally do to get into some of the deeper stuff, the broad portion of your thumbs, so not point, but just this wide bottom portion, come behind the tibia. So find the front of the shin bone, track it in, you'll feel it drop off, and just through there, all this tissue this way essentially, you can start fishing around for some tight spots. This is going to be some tender work in there. So just spend some time slowly sinking into that tissue. Might be a bit achy, hold some pressure until that ache starts to dissipate. Take the ankle through some range of motion, breaking up tight calf tissue so it doesn't limit your knee. It doesn't mess with ankle stability and ankle mobility. Adductors. If you have any hip or leg mechanics that aren't efficient, your adductors are going to be probably pretty tight, and so you can foam roll them, or you can use elbow. Not the point of the elbow, but this broad portion. Just start sinking in just behind the knee. So you'll feel this big knee bone. It's your tibia and fibula. Tibia, fibula, and your femur. And just come right behind the upper knee bone, so that femur, and you'll feel it start to sink in. And just through there, you can start finding some pretty adhesed tissue. These adductors get really spasmed and tight. It can be a bit of a sharp pain. Slowly work through this stuff. This is progression. So find where you're tight throughout the body, work through it over the next coming weeks. So same thing, slowly go through that tissue. You can foam roll it, fire hydrant the knee out, kind of dog pissing on a fire hydrant. And so about an inch a second with foam rolling. If you're ever foam rolling anything, quads, hips, whatever, about an inch a second. If you're going super fast, it's not doing anything, or it is, but it's not efficient. Just slowly roll out that tissue. Adductors can get pretty bad. Lateral hips, we're thinking glute medius, minimus, TFL. Again, if your lower body mechanics aren't right, you're going to find a lot of tension through here. If you're athletic, you're going to find tension through here. It's just one of those muscles, or several grouping of muscles that can get really, really tight. Get a lot of trigger point referral into the knee and around the hip region. So think above the greater trochanter, but below the top of your pelvis. So hip bone, pelvis, everything in between. Lacrosse ball, you can use a tennis ball. Australia, no such thing as lacrosse, so cricket balls. And slowly work into that tissue. This can be really tender. You might want to start with a tennis ball. If you're finding referral going down into the knee, find that point that sends pain and just slowly let your body relax into it. Back off it, slowly relax into it for about a minute, back off it until that pain starts to subside. Lateral hips. You can foam roll the lateral hip, it's just not quite as specific as that tennis ball. Glute and hamstrings. Quads, you can foam roll quads, again, inch a second. The lower leg complex, just find yourself moving around through it, or the whole leg complex, and find where you're tight. Glute, pull the knee up to open that tissue a bit, and so you can start getting a little more like piriformis. You guys might have heard of sciatica. So sciatica, there's several categories, but if that piriformis muscle is spasming around that sciatic nerve, it can do a lot of neural funk down into the leg. Lats, onto the side. You can be at the more backside, a bit more front. You start getting the serratus muscle. Lats and triceps, really heavily used for paddling. And that lat's such a big muscle that it can move the shoulder. So if that lat's really tight and spasmed and not allowing proper movement or flexibility to the shoulder, it can make things a little rough. Tennis ball, lacrosse ball, back of the shoulder. Obviously these muscles are used in paddling, so they can get a lot of nasty trigger points and just stuck tissue. Rhomboid, in between the shoulder blade and the spine is your rhomboid, and lat tissue. You've got a couple heads of your, or not lat tissue, your traps, low trap, mid trap, upper trap, and then some deeper shoulder muscles around there. Mash that stuff out. You can come on top of the scapula and start getting posterior rotator cuff, teres minor, and for spinatus, you can get into some teres major, which isn't part of your rotator cuff, but it's attached to that scapula and can have really nasty adhesions. You can roll out your triceps. Again, these muscles get really heavily used for paddling, so you want to keep them flexible and mobile. You can foam roll your triceps as well. So I'm pretty tight on that one. Spend some time there. Chest tissue. So pec minor, pec major can all really offset. You know, again with the lat, can pull everything forward, hunched over. So we want to open up that chest tissue. You can do it against the wall. Just tennis ball or lacrosse ball. You can just lay on it, or again, put it up against the wall and just lean against the wall. Take the arm through some range. And then so work on this stuff. Incorporate some yoga-esque moves. Just do some quality stretching, full flexibility stretching. Use this stuff. It's about keeping the body fit, keeping all the tissue healthy. It's not difficult to start incorporating this stuff a few minutes a week. Check out Surf Training Success. All this specific lacrosse ball and tissue work and foam rolling. We go over how to use it and organize it into your training with recovery secrets and performance mobility drills, so it gets specific insight into what you're doing with specific, certain muscles, how to recorrect shoulder positioning, hip positioning, and then how to use this stuff in your everyday training. That's it. Use this stuff. I've said that probably 5 times now. Keep everything moving right so you can surf. Check it out, surfstrengthcoach.com, Surf Training Success. I'm gonna go roll some more. See ya.